is a reading from the Notebooks by Maria Valtorta, 1944, December the 13th. St. Lucy, who has been beseeched so much to bring me the gift of a return to her house in Viareggio after the period of evacuation to St. Andrea di Compito, instead brings me a heavenly vision which begins as I say the Rosary and Fatima prayers with Marta. A night bursting with stars, a beautiful eastern sky of an almost black sapphire, entirely filled with clusters of stars, a nocturnal landscape sleeping in the night. Little white houses, all of them closed and silent. In the foreground there is one which is nearly square-shaped, with its terrace, and a sort of small dome, so clear that if I were capable I could sketch it in its minimum details. The landscape is slightly wavy, as if it were in a gentle basin between hills. From the sky there descends a procession of angels of luminous whiteness, incorporeal and yet very perceptible to the human eye, extremely beautiful. They form like a curve, like this. The writer sketched a curved line proceeding downwards and towards the left-hand side, heading earthwards from the sky towards the still, sleeping town, and the night becomes more luminous from the light of the angelic bodies. The first two, beautiful beyond description, descend swiftly, without moving their wings, though with their hands crossed over their chests, and their faces bending towards the town, and sparkling with supernatural love. All the others follow behind, an incalculable number. I don't know whether they made music by piercing through the atmosphere or by a palpitation of love. Perhaps the two things together produced it. It was certainly not material music, for which words, vocal cords, voices, and art are used, and since it was something supernatural, it was infinitely, indescribably lovely. I cannot retain this non-human singing. My heart is filled with it, and my spirit exalted. All of my afflictions are cancelled out by it, but I cannot repeat even one note. I think, and I don't know why, of that song which my St. John says will be sung only by those who follow the Lamb, by the 144,000 saved people who have not been sullied with sensuality. Revelations chapter 7, verse 4. The white, harmonious, celestial troop passes and again journeys over the parabola joining earth to heaven. I see them disappear after having grazed the earth, and then come back down again as if they were forming a wheel of flights from God's throne to the town. And Jesus, only speaking, without appearing to me, says, "Look, may the first comfort of Christmas time be given to your suffering, the song that filled the horizons on the night which saw my birth. With their love, the angels sing, peace on earth to men of good will. They sing peace to you. Take delight in it. I bless you." And now I add, that is, 24 hours later, on the evening of December 14th, that I am still blissful from this shining, peaceful, harmonious angelic vision, and also experience joy, lesser, but still joy, for in my very short sleep I dreamed of something festive like a promise which was to be fulfilled in 10 days. I don't remember what it's about or who made it, since Toy, the writer's dog, woke me up so suddenly that I could not see what came after or recall exactly. But I don't know. This spark of joy is also in my heart. Don't say, "Why is she not going to start believing in dreams now, is she?" Unfortunately, you see for yourself that the dreams on November 22nd, 24th, 26th, and 28th, mentioned on November 29th, have been more than borne out by events. I know from experience that since I was small, the future has been announced to me in sleep. Then, on December 15th, Jesus says, there are a lot of, too many, people who think it is licit to raise their voices in my name, to speak to their brothers and sisters. It is easy to act as doctors. It is much more difficult to be students, very difficult to be patient students, and dangerous to be students who are obedient to every doctor. Let it not cause you amazement that I should say this. Obedience is holy, but it must never be devoid of intelligence. And not only this, but intelligence ought to be asked to illuminate the individual's intelligence, to guide it. Veni, Creator Spiritus, mentes tuorum visita, Deus qui corda fidelium sancti spiritus illustratione docuisti, da nobis in eodem spiritu recta sapere, et de eius semper consolatione gaudere, which translated means, Come, O Creator Spirit, visit the minds of your faithful. O God, who have instructed the hearts of the faithful with the light of the Holy Spirit, grant that we may discern what is good according to the Spirit himself, and always enjoy his consolation. From the hymn in honor of the Holy Spirit, and the prayer for this feast in the Missal, in use in the writer's time. Didn't I say on many occasions to all of you, through what I said to apostles and disciples, that for higher matters, and in those above ordinary ones, you would have the Holy Spirit as your teacher and guide? Too little prayer is directed towards this ineffable love, this divine light, this perfect intelligence, this third person of ours, who creates and completes the uniform and triniform nature. Do you know, my little John, what has merited so much light for you? Love for your Jesus, indeed, but furthermore, your great love for the Holy Spirit. You received him through the hands of a saint, the servant of God, Cardinal Andrea Carlo Ferrari, 1850 to 1921, Archbishop of Milan, who administered confirmation to Maria Valtorta on May 30th, 1905. You received him through the hands of a saint of mine, and he came into you fully and actively, finding terrain favorable for creating the large plant rising up to heaven, in which the birds find refuge and comfort and food. The plant whose roots sink in deep below, in humble, sincere knowledge of yourself and your nothingness. The plant feeding on humility, the only soil truly favorable for this plant of holiness, whose foliage pushes up towards love, the sun providing warmth, and branches out into an ever wider radius to become love for its fellows. The Holy Spirit, because of your love for him, since your first encounter with him, has loved you with a special love, protected and formed you, healed you out of humanity, and saved, led, and upraised you. He loves you. You live in the shaft of his light. Always be comforted therefrom, and rejoice in this certainty which I am giving you. You are truly a daughter of our Trinity, because you have loved us, Father, Son, and Spirit, three in one, as have few among Christians, and you have been loved by us. You are loved by us. I said at the outset that it is easy to act as doctors. It is hard to act as students, and yet most men do these two things and do them badly. They all want to be doctors. Nearly all of them are unable to do anything but be poor students. Many because they do not obey either men or the word of light with which God inspires them. Others because they supinely obey men without first consulting me. Never do so. As for the doctors, oh, how many Eliphazes, Baldads, and Sophars there are on earth, and how good they are at offending the poor Jobs. See the book of Job. But as for them, if they were in the situation of Job, they would be even more frightened and terrified than a chick bewitched by a snake. Maria, do you remember my relative Zechariah, when, while wearing the doctor's robe, he decreed it was proper for Jesus to grow up in Bethlehem, and supported his opinion with the prospect of raising him himself? See note 419. Jesus, the wisdom of the Father, in human terms, born to the spouse of the Holy Spirit, raised, needing to be raised by a man. How many Eliphazes, Baldads, Sophars, and Zechariah the earth has? And they want to take the place of God. As for you, I shall use the expression which was said to those consecrated in Israel, in the name of God. Go before me, walk along my path, and advance. Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. Go in peace. I am with you. Write down the hour of this dictation, 10 a.m. on December the 15th. Pray for the world and hope. I bless you.